Is President Moon Jae-in a mediator, a player, or a passenger? Partly that depends who you ask. His own administration, his critics here in Seoul, or officials in Washington or Pyongyang. Whatever you want to call it, Moon's role remains crucial though, in shaping what happens next between the US and North Korea. I'm Alex Jensen for Korea Now. Back in May 2017, before he'd even been elected as South Korea's president, Moon Jae-in was dubbed the negotiator by Time magazine. His role as mediator appeared to be predestined, even if he also had to quite literally meet North Korean Chairman Kim Jong-un halfway and maintain steady contact with US counterpart Donald Trump. But now, since the failure of the second U.S. North Korea summit, the North's Vice Foreign Minister Choi Son-hee has suggested Moon is not a mediator, but rather a player, the implication being that he is playing for the US side. Ironically, it's the opposite of what his critics at home and in the US think, so it might seem like President Moon can't win. That said, the prospect of Moon's role as mediator in bringing about peace and denuclearization, and that of South Korea generally, is not only still very much there, but also essential. North Korean Vice Minister Choi also announced last Friday that her regime will end talks with Washington and shift back to missile and nuclear testing, should the US stick to unacceptable demands. US President Donald Trump's top aides hit back, condemning her statement as unhelpful, to quote National Security Advisor John Bolton, who added that it would not be a good idea on their part. Yet Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said he is hopeful talks with North Korea will continue, and the US has every expectation the North Korean leader will honor his commitment to Trump to continue refraining from nuclear and missile tests. As key negotiator and special representative for North Korea, Stephen Biegun insisted diplomacy is still very much alive. Pompeo's also said the people of South Korea are determined to help us get the nuclear weapons out of North Korea. South Korea has certainly repeatedly shown its desire to keep discussions going. Both sides have moved forward too much to return to the past, according to a high-ranking official from Seoul's presidential office last weekend, speaking to reporters anonymously. He said it was necessary from the US side to reconsider its so-called all-or-nothing strategy in dealing with North Korea, that both sides should reach an agreement on a roadmap first and then seek phased progress in the denuclearization process in order to turn a so-called small deal into a good enough deal. He additionally said that Seoul and Washington are continuing close consultations, while it also appears inter-Korean talks will soon resume, based on comments behind the scenes and from high-level officials. Now that sounds very much like mediation, whatever North Korea wants to call it. This week, Foreign Minister Kang Kyung-hwa described South Korea as a core party concerned in the denuclearization process, that Seoul plays an active role. The South's top nuclear envoy Lee Do-hoon went further, saying Seoul is a key player. Perhaps the important point here is that President Moon is indeed a player, but that his playing position remains mediator, and that North Korea knows it, but is likely pressuring him to mediate a little harder in the name of inter-Korean cooperation and encouraging a breakthrough when Washington and Pyongyang get stuck, which seems to be the case right now.